Jalen Hurts has done one thing that only one other quarterback has ever done in the history of the NFL. We got power rankings. We got Monday Night Football live reactions. This is Victory Mondays. Let's go.
From the city of brotherly love. All day, baby. You know that.
Let's hunt.
If we don't come together right now on this hollow ground.
Where are you going? I'm going to pick a fight.
Get the nothing. Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is that why you are here?
Let the games begin.
This is where we hold them. This is where we fight. This is where they die.
Money is nice, championships are better.
Welcome, everybody, back to another episode of Victory Mondays. It feels so goddamn good every Monday that we have a victory. Something in the air. Just you can taste it. It tastes so good to have victory over here on this side of the field. I'm the host. I'm the CEO. I'm the player. They call me Moss Money. And, of course, I got my GM with me, Ernie B. What's up, bro?
I think it is something in the air, man. I don't know what it is. It's been hitting a little different lately. You know what I mean? I don't know what it is in the air, but I don't know. It's a little
it's
cheesy.
victory. It's what it is. It's winning. It's winning consistently. It's just something different. You put your clothes on different. You put your drawers on different. It's just something that confidence. It doesn't matter how you get it done. You just get it done.
It's almost like they're amidst the best run in franchise history right now.
Yes.
So it's a special time to be in, and we're here to dive into it, man.
Yes, sir. It's been a good one. With that being said, Eagles coming off a physical game victory against the Kansas City Chiefs, and like I said in the beginning, in the opening of the show, Jalen Hurts joins Joe Burrow as the only other quarterback to ever beat Patrick Mahomes 3 straight times in his career, dropping the Kansas City Chiefs to 0-2 and uplifting the Philadelphia Eagles to 2-0. And like I said, in a hard-fought physical battle, winning 20-17. We're going to layer the show today. We'll talk about the takeaways, kind of circle back to the theme that we talked about a little bit, power ratings, and we'll make sure we'll update everybody on Monday Night Football right now. Let me actually just bring it up real quick here. What we got? Real quick, 14-10. Bucks are up. Game started off pretty quick with the kind of run game and defensive team scoring. Now really starting to slow down a little bit. 8 minutes left in the third quarter, and the Texans just punted the ball away. So we'll keep everybody updated on any highlights or updates or anything that drop. So make sure you guys stay locked in for that. All right, let's talk about the Birds, bro, and what you saw from the Birds in this game. Like we like to do and start the show off with a couple takeaways from the game, looking into next week, and kind of discuss what we saw here about your Super Bowl Philadelphia Eagles. First takeaway, for me, at least, Jadarius Smith, man. What an impact I think that he made.
20 snaps, man. For 20 snaps, he was very noticeable.
Yeah, he was absolutely noticeable.
Was not
they don't have many sacks, but he's got a half a sack already. Very physical. Obviously, his stature out there, his energy's out there. Already kind of walking in as a leader. He's a veteran of a team. So I think Jadarius Smith putting pressure on Patrick Mahomes consistently, constantly, and like you said, those limited snaps made the best of it, especially for having fresh legs. I think he looked very good. He fit right in. Notice that he was a hand in the dirt guy. I did notice that he did not stand up at all. His hand was in the
he
dirt.
did on a couple plays, but he wasn't comfortable. You know what I mean? He's much more. He's very similar to, like we talked about, just from a play style to kind of how BG was. They're different builds, but at the time that they're at in their careers, you know, he's here to fill that role, that hand in the dirt, you know, set the edge kind of guy.
Yeah.
And for 20 snaps, man, the fact that he popped on TV a couple times, that's something special.
Yeah. Yes. And just to kind of open that thought up, is it that I think you said this last week, he instantly became the best pass rusher on the team?
Yeah. I mean, he's the only proven guy. You know what I mean? He's the only guy that's been there, done that. So, I mean, I think that alone sets him apart. But I do think, you know, he brings the most tools in the tool chest when he walks into that room. I think Smith has had a really good 2 games so far to start the season, especially coming off a torn tricep. He had on that 4th down, just brushed Brashard Smith off. I mean, to be, you know, the 247 pounds he is, I think it's more 237. He plays very strong. And I think if we could have, you know, Smith doing the job that he does, Zadarius that is, and then Nolan, Hunt, and it seems to be Uche, Ojulari and Agbo Okoronkwo have been inactive for the first 2 games. I mean, Patrick Johnson's playing over those guys because he plays on special teams.
Yep.
Kind of getting the Devin White sense here from Azeez Ojulari. Got a feeling that they gave him the money. They're going to try to do what they can and squeeze the end of the toothpaste tube out. But I think Zadarius Smith showed an instant impact. And I think that obviously having Jalen Carter back was big. But I think as a whole, I think he just fits seamlessly into what we needed. And for the, you know, I mean, you know, around the league, they call that a mercenary signing because he didn't do training camp. We'll sign Linval, Joseph, and Ndamukong Suh in 2022 and went to the Super Bowl. That was later in the year. But this is becoming a much more popular trend. Veterans, proven veterans sitting out that know they're worth the money. I think we talked about this last show. They didn't have to guarantee him any money. They did. So, I mean, it was a little bit of a bidding war with the Lions, and the Eagles paid to get this 33-year-old edge rusher in here. There was a lot of talk about his age, but, you know, we saw a glimpse.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And like you said, brings a lot of tools to the tool bag and into the shed with everybody else, and kind of could show some of these young guys how to get after it a little bit more. Can never not stop learning, especially as a pass rusher, especially when you have somebody proven walking in the door. And again, it showed. Like you said, he popped on film. I mean, on tape, you know, during the game, and was a constant force when he was in there. So, yeah, my biggest takeaway that I saw from that game, you know, giving love to the big fellows up front, Zadarius Smith definitely, you know, it was a great. Seems like Howie always has these veteran signings, and he seems like the one that's going to be the impact player of him.
He's also missed on a couple. He's missed on a lot of them, and I think that the good ones overshadow it. But I think that even though, you know, I've been very for the signing and I've been very pro, you know, Zadarius Smith, I'm a fan. I do think the age at 33, you know, there has to be a little bit of concern. I believe he's lucky because he didn't start playing football till like his senior year of high school or something. So it's like he doesn't have a lot of miles on his body.
Yeah.
So he's a little bit of a unique situation, but I do think that, you know, kind of getting into what we're talking about here, another strength of this team was clearly the defense, man. This was the number 1 defense in football last year, and they lost a lot of key guys. And the rookies seem to be getting better by the week. I know it's only been 2 games, but they've popped. But both have made plays, highlight real plays. And honestly, I know there's been a couple of hiccups, mainly with Makuba more than Campbell, but Campbell's hiccups are harder to see. You got to go back and really try to figure out where he misses if he does. I'm kind of getting this Mitchell DeJean vibe. I don't know about you, but I'm kind of like, damn, dude, did they really do this again? Like, are they going to go from Carter Smith to Mitchell DeJean? Hunt was lucky. You know, Milton Williams previously in the 3rd round was a little bit lucky. But Campbell and Makuba, man, instant impact young guys. I mean, the fact that Vic trusts them to be out there is big. well, I'm sure we're going to talk about this, but I mean, how much longer is Adoree Jackson's leash? I mean, I'll give it to the guy; he's tough. It looked like he might have broken his thumb or somsomething there. I mean,
it looked like he
dislocated his thumb there. It looked like he was kind of sitting sideways.
Yeah, that's what it looked like.
But I mean, the guy kept going. He still played aggressive, still tackled. Even with the injury. But you have to wonder the impact of these rookies. Are they really that special? Or is Vic just really doesn't trust who's sitting behind cornerback 2? I mean, what's your opinion on this? Because I'm curious about this. I know Brent's been fired up about it. You know what I mean? And I've been pumping the brakes because we experienced Devontae in the slot for 4 weeks last year before the bye, and then DeJean was a breath of fresh air.
No, it's definitely an interesting take on how good this defense can be as the year continues to progress. When you look at them, the only hole I see is pass rush, and they just kind of tried to sew that up with Zadarius Smith. I don't think it's funny. We were on the chat. I don't think Adoree played that bad this past game. He was solid in my opinion. He was solid.
He's going to be a constant target because the defense is so good. And if Makuba continues to play to this level, if he continues to get better, obviously Blankenship is the stronghold there at safety.
Yeah.
If they can prove they don't have a hole at safety, then this whoever is going to play opposite Mitchell. I mean, even DeJean's been targeted a good bit. I mean, they are not throwing to Quinyon Mitchell on purpose. So it's a lot of slot routes at the linebackers at DeJean, and it's been almost everything at that other outside corner.
Yeah, for sure.
It's been Adoree Jackson.
Again, man, I don't think obviously game 1, we called it out.
I'm.
Yeah, but I'm not going. I mean, and it was CD Lamb, right? Like you just said. That's a tough cover for anybody. But I think this game, I really do, man. I really think this game, there was a reason why Pat Mahomes had almost 8 or 10 carries for almost 70 yards because he just couldn't get the ball to anybody. So I do think that Adoree played a lot better than maybe what our eyes are telling us. I think, he can give himself a C+ on this one for sure on this grade. And I think he'll get better. He'll get better as the year kind of come on. I was convinced a little bit better this one. Now, obviously, we know they were down Worthy and Rice, so the competition wasn't A1 or they didn't have everybody there. But again, on the plays that I saw, he was on Hollywood Brown. He had some good snaps, in my opinion. So, but to get back to your question about this defense, outside of the pass rush and that outside corner. I mean, they're solid across the board. I mean, like you said, Cooper's good. Mitchell's good. Jordan Davis looked really good, in my opinion, I think.
He's had the 2 best games of his career.
Yeah.
By far.
The weight loss, he can – and it was hot out there, right? It was 90-something degrees. And I don't blame his cramping.
I mean, he fought to get back in. His hammies were cramping up a little bit on him. But I also thought – I don't know if you noticed, the Eagles were heavy rotation. I mean, they had a very heavy rotation at a lot of positions, except for outside corner too. But they had a lot of. I mean, John Mechie, Darius Cooper played. I think both of them had about 12. I think Cooper might have played 15 or something, and Mechie played 12 snaps. But they were rotating out, Dotson, and then sometimes Brown and Smith got a breather there. Saquon got good rest, and then I noticed on the D line too, there was a lot of guys getting snaps, which I think is beneficial. But like you said, it was hot out there, and they were talking about it, pregame. They were saying that the conditions were pretty humid and that they were expecting the teams, to deal with some possible cramping issues.
Yeah, no, and I think he flashed a little bit. Unfortunately, on that one penalty, he had a sack. But unfortunately, it was a penalty on that one. It's tough to see Carter. Have to go back to the tape if we want to kind of break down that.
Double team about the whole time.
Yeah, I kind of figured that. And he had that.
And then something happened with the wrist or the forearm.
Yeah. No, I saw it because he switched his stance because he couldn't.
And if you notice, he was getting down really late. He was kind of just he was kind of more leaning into it than anything else.
He was gassed too. I think
he was.
He was definitely gassed.
He was.
So is that your takeaway then? We can give it that. Your biggest takeaway was this defense.
Yeah. I mean, I would just say that. Obviously we've got to talk about the offense and the lack of explosive plays, but I think that if there's anything to note on both sides, for Kansas City or Philadelphia, I think both teams can say that they have top 5 defenses in this league without a question.
I forgot to add my picture up. What am I doing?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Hey, he did a good job, man. I was very pleased. I was very pleased. And like I said, the guy fits what we needed. What that room was lacking, kind of almost what I believe they wanted Ojulari to be. He's about double the price, but that's fine. I mean,
and like you said, Uche is getting some good quality snaps too. I mean, it's just
Uche has really good bend. He just doesn't have strength at the point of attack. That's where he's a smaller, compact guy, and he doesn't cover well. So it's how those Belichick edge rushers were, man. They're very lean. They're very V-shaped. They're not good, some decently long arms, but that edge rusher is not the same anymore. You're looking for guys more built like that than you are the way he is. He's just a little small and a little slow to be, how he is.
Yeah.
But he's been good.
No. I think so too. All right. So defense is the theme of takeaway 1. Takeaway 2 is the theme that I talked about, really kind of figuring out what embodies this year's Philadelphia Eagles team. Take a listen. There it is. Right there. I'll leave that there. Shut your ass up. We won the game. That is the theme of this defending Super Bowl championship team and the Philadelphia Eagles. Shut your ass up. We won the game. That is the theme. I said it when we talked about it in week 1 and maybe even before. 2 words, Jalen Hurts. That message right there, that comment, that frustration from the other team because it don't look pretty, it ain't shiny, it ain't, 52 points and Detroit Lions thrown for 5 touchdowns, Jared Goff. It's less than 100 yards, and we still won the game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
101.
101. I'm sorry. Can't forget
101
that.
Official.
That is the theme. Like you said. Plus, don't forget that 101. Give me every bit of my credit. That is the theme of this year, and that is my biggest takeaway, was that comment. I know it went viral and went everywhere, but that comment right there embodies, I think, what this season is going to be. Shut your ass up, whether they called penalties on the tush push, whether they didn't, whether we lined it up 100 times. Shut your ass up, because guess what? We won the motherfucking game.
Yeah, as many times as Landon Dickerson jumped off sides, multiple guys were lining up offsides on the defense. I mean, the Chiefs, if you notice, they're the one team that does the real condensed kind of they form like a V, and then they try to triangle dive, and it doesn't work because Jalen Hurts then just goes over the top. That's the beauty of the tush push is, there's one way through it, it's that's the point of, you're riding the wave. But I think you're right. I just think that, in this market that we're in, I think that, let's say last year we lose the Super Bowl, we're not even having this conversation. We would be, ready to burn the link down after, these kind of, even with the wins. Yeah. But I do think because they finished the job now that this is part of their identity and they understand that we've got to figure ourselves out. It'll take some time. I mean, I can't even name the number of offensive coordinators that we've been through at this point. I can't even name the amount of different QB coaches we've had up to this point. It's becoming a repeat story that I think me and you have the perfect attitude about this season is seriously, if you have anything to say about the Philadelphia Eagles, just shut the fuck up because you're not going to tell me anything. I don't care. We might only have 2, but I feel like I have 7. So there's nothing you can say. I mean, we're like a Toyota Camry. You know what I mean? When we have 200,000 miles, we've only got 100,000 on us, really. You know what I mean? We're a good car, you know? So it's like, dude, this team, this city, they're so dedicated. And this attitude, to hear our QB1 tell arguably the best defensive lineman in football, you know, shut up. We walked into your shit and took it over, man. And so there's nothing you can say about it. In the history books, they're not going to talk about the 101 passing yards. They're actually probably going to say something like, guess what, son? He beat the Kansas City Chiefs, and he only threw for 101 passing yards. I mean, it never goes down as a bad thing when you win. I mean, I think the best debate this morning that was going around Philly media was, man, wouldn't it suck to wake up a Giants fan Monday morning after what you guys did? 450 passing yards from, you know, Sussy Russy. And he goes out there and just dominates. But you lose the football game.
Mm-hmm.
On an errant throw, you know, oh, Jesus, take the wheel. Excuse me. But, I mean, that's what that throw was. That was a nothing ball to Malik Neighbors because the first couple two may have worked. But that was Malik is out there somewhere ass throw. Or do you want Jalen Hurts, who has that attitude? The team accepts this attitude, I think, to a certain degree.
They do.
I do think a ton of the AJ stuff is overblown by the media. And I think that when they consistently poke at him, that frustrates him.
I think so, too.
And so he kind of lets it out. And that's why he seems to have such a problem with it, because you keep asking the questions. And all they're going to tell you is, what does Nick Sirianni keep saying? They're a boring football team. That's what they are. We're going to be boring in interviews. We're going to be boring in, post-game successes. We're going to be boring in our losses. It is what it is. But this football team is going to do everything they can to climb that mountain. And I think that it's been 2 games. We're 2-0. I predicted 2-2 through the first 4. I mean, we got the Rams coming to town this week. They were more of a challenge than the Kansas City Chiefs were last year. So, the gauntlet continues.
No, it does. It does. And they keep answering the bell. I mean, I know it's 2 games, and we'll get to some power ratings.
We haven't thrown a passing touchdown yet. That's not it. That's it is.
Shut your ass up.
Shut your ass up. You know what I mean? It is what it is. I don't want to hear it. All right.
I mean, shut your ass up. You know what I mean? That's
don't even need to throw the ball to win football games. How about that?
Yeah. Shut your ass up. Real quick right now, let me switch the screen real quick for my fantasy folks out there still watching the game. Let me see here. Remove that and then add that to the stage.
I'm going to share a fun one real quick. This is per Jeff Kerr from CBS via Twitter X. Eagles have won 16 straight games in which Jalen Hurts has started and finished. Hurts has thrown for less than 150 yards in 6 of those games. He's only turned the ball over 4 times in that 16-game span.
Yeah,
it comes to protecting the football. It comes to, can you generate pressure? Can you protect against pressure? And can you protect the football? If we really want to get into some how do, GMs think of the game. Those are 3 very good notes right there. Another quick one. Under Nick Sirianni, the Eagles are 36-2 when they win the turnover margin. They are 8-7 when the turnover margin is even, and they are 12-14 when they lose the turnover margin. So obviously, we've been dominating the turnover margin, and that's been, pretty big for us. There was one more. You can go ahead. I think I might have lost this one, but it was just another Hurts stat. It was just basically just a winning stat. It was, I think he has 38 total touchdowns to 4 turnovers in this winning streak so far.
Okay.
So I mean, stats. That's pretty good.
Real quick with the Monday Night Football right now, they were driving 10, but just missed a field goal, 38 field goal. It's crazy, making 60, 64, 65-yard field goals, and now we miss a chip shot at 40 yards. Did you see that Atlanta? Because the kid missed the field goal at the end, they benched him and brought in somebody else. It was kind of.
Yeah, I don't know if Younghoe Koo's dealing with an injury or something too. But there's some contract issues over there. I believe he had an extension a couple years ago. So, the Falcons are doing exactly like, why would they not dangle Kirk Cousins, the best available backup in the NFL, to the Cincinnati Bengals right now, their response was, "We are not in that position at this moment." I don't even know what that means. But,
Yeah.
they tend to – they're very much like the Bengals, and they tend to kind of hold players hostage.
Right. Quick fantasy update. Who scored? Emeka
scored.
And Collins scored. And then a tight end scored. No-name tight end, I think, scored.
Well, are you sure? Was it Cade Otton?
Let's take a look at the box score real quick.
I got a pass short right to Egmeka.
Ryan Miller. Miller scored.
Receiver Ryan Miller, I believe.
Was it receiver or tight end? I thought it was tight end.
He might be a tight end.
It might be a tight end.
Not listing it here.
But for any under bet folks, because that was the kind of theme of or the thought of what this game would be an under. Under's looking pretty solid in the beginning. It was looking tight, right? 14-10. But with third quarter pretty much almost done, I think the under was 41. I think it was. Under looking pretty solid for those under bettors here.
Ryans and Bowles, we're eventually going to dig into their trenches. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the Bucs dealing with some offensive line issues. The Texans, also
can't run the ball for shit.
Serious injuries. Yeah.
So, all right. So we got theme 1 down, defense. Theme 2, I think you agree with me. Jalen Hurts and the theme of this team, shut your ass up. Might be a T-shirt coming. 3, for me, and out the theme that or the takeaway I came out of this game was, what's the biggest story? What's the bigger story? The Eagles 2-0 or the Chiefs 0-2?
I would say that the Eagles being 2-0 in which way that they've won their football games, because even though I think the whole Mahomes being 0-2 thing is really blown out of proportion, they're dealing with a lot of injuries. He's playing with rejects at receiver, one of which beat us over the top due to a miscommunication by somebody on the back end.
Twice too, because he was open. Remember, he was open.
It was about 3 times. He was wide open. Mahomes finally hit him on the last one. Yeah. And Mitchell played the ball perfectly, actually.
Good catch. It was a good catch by the kid.
Yeah, the kid had a great catch. Tyquan Thornton, former second rounder from New England. But yeah, I think that we really need to pump the brake. Again, we talked about it off the air real quick. Was just, it's only been 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. The NFL is a long season. If you think we're getting into it now, we have no idea. Right now we're looking at, what is it, Carson Wentz lining up against Jake Browning.
How crazy is Wentz getting a shot? How crazy is that?
Yeah, it's we're in a wild part of the season. But the Kansas City Chiefs, as much as I would love to just stick the knife in them, dude, they still have the best quarterback in football. I will argue that Josh Allen is the most talented quarterback in football, but the most dangerous quarterback in football, the most dangerous guy on the field is Patrick Mahomes. And I think there's one little highlight just to give the Chiefs a positive is Mahomes using his legs this year is a completely different weapon. So when they get Worthy back, when they get Rice back, and when Kelsey maybe figures out whether he wants to lay at home with Taylor or actually play football, dude, I'm sorry. He has looked like shit. He has not looked good.
He's at the end.
He is, man, but most tight ends, they don't do the, he's hit that like cornerback, just lost your legs, it's
a couple ones that he was able to run away from Akuba. That wasn't, I think it's just,
he had a couple plays.
He had a couple plays that looked like Kelsey, but he's not the dominant Kelsey, not even close.
The drops, man, Ertz seems to have really adjusted to his lack of agility later in his career. You know what I mean? He sits down. He takes.
Well, he never was a yak guy anyway.
No, but he did. Break the NFL catch record. So he got open.
Yeah, and he still does.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. But he does it in a different way now.
Yeah.
I just feel like Kelsey has not adjusted to this phase of his career. Like he can't seem to make the transition to maybe I'm not what I once was, but how can I still be effective? Agreed. And I think once the Chiefs figure that out, because Reed will figure that out, I think that they're going to be a very serious football team. I'm also going to say this on the Eagles side of things. I cannot tell everybody out there that this will not be 2023 all over again. Because I will tell you one thing, the offense is very vanilla to have as much talent as we have.
Super.
It is very vanilla. There has been plenty of tape, guys. You guys can just go through it on X. You can just look up Eagles film review, and there are plenty of people that are on there. One of my favorites is Fran Duffy, who's working for PHLY right now. He used to work for the Eagles media team. He's a fantastic one. But we're talking about a vanilla offense. So when does the Patullo question come into point? Because Sirianni's got one. Hurts has got one. He's now the odd man out, but he's not Brian Johnson this time. He isn't. He's been with the team, but he didn't grow up with Jalen or anything like that.
Right.
So it's like, is Patullo a potential scapegoat if this thing doesn't go well? I mean, this offense has done nothing, man. We can agree. With Dickerson banged up like he is, Juergens has not looked. I mean, you said it first. I fought back hard on this, and I'll admit, he looks a little different after that back. Just if you notice, or if you go back and watch anything, Dickerson and Juergens are not anchoring like they usually do. Mailata's been dealing with something since training camp. I don't know what it was. I don't know if you remember when he missed like a week with a concussion or something.
It was a concussion, yeah.
How do you get a concussion? They're wearing the Guardian caps, and they haven't even done anything with anybody. But then he was out there to go one-on-one against Garrett during the joint practice. So it was like, I don't know. But he keeps wearing this long sleeve. I don't know on what leg, but I don't know if you've seen him with it. He's always got this long leg sleeve on. So
yeah, no, I haven't noticed.
I don't know if it's a soft tissue thing with him, but, the lane hasn't been perfect through two. I mean, if I had to say anything, man, the most sound offensive lineman on this team has been Tyler Steen. And I mean that. I mean that wholeheartedly. Steen has had really good reps. I mean, where Juergens had been getting downfield last year, Steen seems to be the guy. I mean, Steen set up Barkley perfectly. Juergens had the first little wham, but Steen pulled, with speed and power. And, knocked the guy right off the second level and sent Barkley, on the home run.
So here you go right here. Through two games, Hurts is 34 for 45, 253 yards, only averaging 126 yards per game. Barkley, 40 carries, 148 yards for 74 yards. And then leading us in receiving is Devontae Smith with 69 yards, averaging 34 yards per game. Right now, A.J. Brown has 35 yards over two games with 6 catches.
I got one that's a little worse from yesterday's game. The longest play of the game for the Eagles offense was the Jahan Dotson 28-yard completion. Or no, excuse me. That was the previous game. This was a 28-yard completion to Devontae Smith, the airmail, alley-oop style throw to the goal line. You know what their second best play was? It was the face mask on Saquon Barkley after his 1-yard rush. That was a 16-yard gain.
Yeah, so there's
we can dive into the weeds, and it doesn't look that great, but so.
It doesn't, and it doesn't. And I said this in the beginning that I felt that, the naysayers are going to still talk their shit because they're not winning with style points. It's not pretty.
Well,
you know what I mean, and I think you saw that frustration with Chris Jones. Like, yo, you got 100 yards. You know what I mean? Like you literally got 100 yards. And the one thing that he knew that is just crazy, the stats that they get on the sideline, right? Of, what everybody's doing. And he's just like, yo, like he's just probably in his head, like, how is this guy and how is this team beating us? It's unheard of. Like I has to be the lowest amount of passing yards a quarterback has ever probably beaten Patrick Mahomes with. Like it don't make it in Arrowhead at all places too. Like it's just silly.
Funny. That's kind of funny that stat has not appeared because I'll be honest with you, I have not. I get all of them, and I haven't seen that one yet. But that's a really good question to ask because, that's
the only reason why he said it because it doesn't make any sense.
But it's the 6th game within this win streak right now of 16 games that he's started and finished. Obviously, that takes away the Kenny Pickett finished Commanders loss from last year, right?
Yep,
that's the one that gets removed. I don't know. Would you rather have him throw for 300? What was Bryce Young? 35 for 55, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks or something like that. And a loss. So, I mean, yeah, he had 30 fantasy points, but what is that? What the fuck does fantasy football have to do with winning Super Bowls? Nothing. I mean, I play fantasy, but I understand that.
Speaking of that, the Texans are about to punch it in on the 1 yard line.
Is it Chubb or is
Chubb just got tackled? I don't know why would you run
21.
I don't know why would you run at Vita Vea. What you're doing running at Vita Vea is a different thing. But yeah, for any fantasy folks, it looks like the Texans are looking like they're about to punch it in. I mean, I would do a sneak with CJ, but it gets tight down there at the red zone. Actually, let me real quick. Let's bring it up just so we can see it. You watching it on TV? Oh, look, 4th down, incomplete pass.
Yeah, I got TV on the background right now.
Are you ahead or are you behind me?
I got 11-19.
It looks like you're ahead. They got to go for it on 4th, right? There's no way they're not. That's just not Ryan's.
They keep showing the Collins drop right now.
Oh, he dropped it.
Well, it was a high throw, which is a little odd from Stroud.
I feel like he's been a little bit off since that slump. Like he hasn't. Just doesn't.
Well, he's got to have an offensive line to play with. They're giving him the Joe Burrow treatment.
Oh wow.
Oof. Yeah, that was rough. Tampa holds. That's a down turnover.
There's that under. That under is beautiful right now. I wonder what it is. Let me look real quick live. But what were you saying? We were talking about style points and what this looks like as, I think Hurts, and again, going back to the theme, live is right now at 31.5. Wow, that is crazy low.
Well, one thing I think we need to talk about a little bit, though, and just touch on it is, and I don't want to spend too much time on this, but clearly the tush push is going to be in, it's what was the word they were using? Unofficiable. It's an untenable play. It's not. When you have these guys line up so quickly, and because there's such a scrum, they're going to argue that you can't tell who's in the neutral zone and you can't tell who jumps off sides. And they're going to say that they can't officiate that properly. That's going to be the argument to get it out of the game. Because obviously the NFL, as corrupt as many people think they are, all the teams that voted against the tush push that have ran it so far in the preseason and the regular season, they're taking notes, man.
Keep pushing, baby.
They're seeing it. But
that game showed the offsides was bad. It was glaring.
And Dickerson, there might be a thing. He might have been doing this whole time. I mean, we have not been watching the tush push very often from that angle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so it's like now that they have that angle of it.
Yeah, they're gonna zoom in.
And they were clearly on it from a media team. They were clearly on it from a media.
So what they're doing the game, Andy called it out too. You can see Andy. It was.
Oh, and Tom. I mean, Tom even said, when Tom Brady comes out and says on live television that you can't officiate this thing. This is getting out of hand.
Yeah.
If you hadn't believed it yet, you heard it here first. Money Pot Podcast. Victory Mondays. Push is not long for this world.
Yeah.
And I think they're still going to do it, but I definitely think they're going to start getting us for moving that football a little bit now. I think they're going to start being a little.
Yeah. Kelsey used to do that a lot. Kelsey, that was a thing.
Kelsey moved the ball. That was Kelsey's best thing. He would move the ball. He said it. He would get a half yard.
Yeah.
If he can take a half yard, that ref looks away. You just
nudge it up.
You take your hand. You just do this.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Well, what they do is when, just being in the trenches, what the center does his little read. And once he puts his hand on the ball, or they might spin it a different way, that's how they flip it up just a little bit.
Yeah. It's when they, as soon as they settle in, they give that little nuance, and then whatever they do is their thing. That's how they got it.
Yeah. So no, that makes a lot of sense.
Kelsey would do remember Kelsey would sit there and do the drive the ball on the ground. So, he'd have it, and then,
right.
What's going on? Everybody's doing some things. All right, hold on. Let me pop right there.
I'm actually on the other side of you here with the bigger story. I think the bigger story is about that's at least from a media perspective that's being pushed is the fact that they've gone 0-2. Just even getting ready for the show.
Yeah.
I'm looking up Philadelphia Eagles stuff. I'm looking at and all the Eagles stuff. Yeah, there's a little bit about the Eagles winning, but the main really conversation is that this is the first time in Patrick Mahomes' career that he's 0-2. And I get it. It's just 0-2. But let me hit you with this number here. And this can kind of lead into our week 2 reactions here. 11.5% of teams make the playoffs that are 0-2. And right now, the Chiefs cinch with the Jets, Miami, Brown, Tennessee, Giants, Bears, Saints, and Panthers. 0-2, 0-3. 2.5% of teams make it to the playoffs. The last 2 teams to do it, 2018 Texans, I think we all remember that. And those who don't remember goes way before as the 92 Chargers. So I'm just saying, like your percentage drops dramatically being 0-2. And I think it's a little bit telling because that division looks a little bit different.
I just remember a lot of times growing up, when people tried to question Bill and Tom in September, and you just don't do it, man. I mean, you still have the best quarterback coaching combo in the league. They have, obviously, I mean, because you're either going to say that the Eagles' talent is completely incompetent, or you have to say the Chiefs have a really good defense. I mean, which one is it?
Right.
It has to be one or the other. You know what I mean? Because either the Eagles, 2,000-yard All-Pro Saquon Barkley just sucks now. The offensive line, that was the best offensive line in football that we've argued that every fan has argued all offseason is the best in football. Okay.
Yeah.
So Spagnuolo he's great. Like, can the Chiefs just be great dealing with some internal issues? I mean, I don't, I think a lot of the spotlight's on them. I think because this 0-2, they're going to drive into him. But I'll be honest with you, I'm not usually a big ref guy like that. But I thought the Eagles got more calls than, outside of the tush push. I'm talking completely outside the tush push. Like, I thought they were a little ticky-tacky, with some of the Chiefs stuff. And it was I was honestly impressed in Kansas City. I mean, they were a little ticky-tacky. And, I don't know if you saw the one that Carter got a hold of Mahomes late that I could have sworn was a rough in the passer. I mean, I could have sworn he was finishing the play. Don't get me wrong. It was within the rules. But Carter gave him the signature, extra follow through on the push. And Mahomes hit the ground hard, man. And he immediately looked.
I thought Campbell had a late one. I felt like
Campbell had one too, but it was more a thud because you saw him. He pulled off right at the last
pulled off, but I think it was still late. I think he could have pulled off.
I thought it was.
I didn't see the Carter one, but I remember Campbell.
Campbell and Carter both had one in the game and those are just the ones that stood out that I saw on the TV tape. You know what I mean? That's just what I saw, and I was like, I just remember like seeing the play and being like, here we go. They're gonna call roughing the passer, and then nothing happened, and I was just like, oh. And the fans were, I mean, they were getting into it. But yeah, I had some boots on ground at the game yesterday, so I was getting some good updates on it. But yeah, it was from both sides. I think both teams view it as a pretty. I mean, the Chiefs are a little butthurt right now, but I think an honest Chiefs fan would tell you that it was a poorly ref game on both sides. I think it was heavily contested, sloppy on offense, good on defense. It was a physical football game. It was very college-esque. It was very just, two SEC teams that have quarterbacks that just can't get going.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And they were just mad. We made them so mad.
Oh yeah.
We made the Chiefs fans. We made the NFL mad, I think, at the end of the day. They just what I mean? Who said it? TL said, I think, best. They just love to hate me. They just love to hate us. I think we're becoming the villain. We're becoming the villain.
I think we are the villain. I mean, I'll be honest with you, not living outside of Philadelphia and being an Eagles fan, I don't ever get a positive comment about wearing Eagles gear or anything like that. Phillies gear, like it's never anything like, hey man, like not even coming from like a Mets fan or something like that. It can be just from Panthers fans that are like, must be nice. And I'm like, what are you talking about, dude? We were 4-13-1 in the midst of taking Jalen Reagor over Justin Jefferson 5 years ago. I mean, I don't I have a like. I know we're in your face about it. I understand it. Like, I've definitely calmed down as a fan over the years, especially getting into, this side of things. And, just tried to have a much more level head about how everything works. But, I mean, how can you not love the run that we're on? I mean, this is historic, man. I'm not talking dynasty yet. We don't have to be a dynasty to be special. This is better than the Andy Reid run right now. I don't give a what you say. This is better. You had 2 Super Bowl appearances. Yes, 1 loss, but then Sirianni doubled down and got his get back. He's also been to the playoffs every year. He's been the head coach of the team. He took that 4-13-1 team. Remember, when he took that job, he didn't know whether Carson Wentz was his guy or not. Jalen Hurts got the job because he was there. I mean, let's not act like Jalen Hurts was drafted because the Eagles were smart enough to know that Carson Wentz would fail. They had just paid Wentz. They drafted Hurts as a cost-effective backup for the long term, because Wentz had been prone to missing games, the same way that they've handled Hurts's backups and going and getting guys like Pickett, Howell. They have the same process there. Then for them to, what was it, 8-9, and they made the playoffs that year? Or was that the last year of 8-8? They won like those 3 games at the end. Remember, Minshew had to play, I think, a game or 2. But I mean, dude, they have fought through without the number 1 pick in Donovan McNabb. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
he was the franchise savior. I mean, this was supposed to be the guy. Like, this was your dude. I mean, this was that's not who Hurts was. I mean, you see what I'm saying? Like, he might be a guy today, but he was not a guy when they picked him, 53rd overall?
Yeah.
It was a reach. At the time, it was a total reach. Teams asked him to work out at running back. I mean, legitimately. So for him to have accomplished what he has and to be where they're at, I don't understand where the argument is. I mean, don't get me wrong, the NFC Championship appearances, yeah. I mean, but what was it? The 2023 was 11-6 when they finished the season?
Yeah.
Because they were 10-1. They lost 5 out of 6.
Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's been a lot more media coverage around this one. But, I mean, I don't know. That would be my argument.
Yeah. No, I agree. Out of those teams I gave you, and I'll run them right back down, 11 chance to make the playoffs. Jets, Miami, Browns, Tennessee, Chiefs, Giants, Bears, Saints, Panthers. Any of those teams make the playoffs?
Chiefs, lock, yeah.
That's it? You got Chiefs lock?
Yeah, Chiefs lock.
Chiefs lock. I feel like the Browns could still make some noise. That defense is good. Like that defense will keep them in games.
Yeah, they're sad to watch, man. I mean, I don't think Shador would change anything, but it just sucks to watch them struggle because they've been so pigeonholed.
Yeah, they need a run game.
When John Judkins, man, he had a decent debut.
Yeah, they need a run game before they can really make some noise in terms of, I think, the playoffs and help their quarterbacks. And then the receivers will come, the skill positions will come, but I think they need a run game first. But we'll see. No, I mean, Chiefs lock. I was trying to look up and see if I can see the odds of the Chiefs making the playoffs. I think that's probably going to be a really popular bet coming up. But we'll see what that looks like this week. Right now, giving some updates, we still have we won't be on for the 10 o'clock game for the Chargers in Vegas, but right now it's 4th and 6 on Tampa 45, 14-10 still. Again, the under looks like it is cashing, and even a live under at 31.5 looks like that might be pretty solid as well. Because even if Texans score, you got to love that hook, baby, with that half point. So that one looks pretty solid right now. So what I wanted to get into on the later end of the show was the power ratings. And kind of going into like week 2 reaction, kind of talking about, the playoff teams or the 0-2 teams that could make the playoffs. There's a lot of 1 2-1 teams, a lot of 2-0 teams. I'm gonna run down my power ratings, man, and just give me a comment about my power ratings and anything. I'm just doing top 5 power ratings, and tell me if you think I got it right or I got it wrong. I actually go from bottom up instead of top to bottom. For my 5th ranked power team, I have the Indianapolis Colts right now. Daniel Jones and the Colts. And we can mix and match them, but you know what I mean? It looks like a little bit of smirk there. So I guess you'll see where I have it the next going up in 4 and see if you switch out. So I'll give you Colts at 5. Any thoughts right there before I go? Or you want to see what I have at 4?
Colts are not a top 5 team in the NFL, but all right.
All right.
Even after 2 weeks, and they're incredible run.
Obviously, right. 2 weeks.
Even after 2 weeks and their incredible run,
Oh, shit. Block punt.
Uh-oh.
Block punt by the Texans.
Yep, wow. They get the ball back. And Stroud overthrew.
Oh, man. Block punt by the Texans. Huge play. Sorry. Just saw that. A lot of special teams play this week, too, for sure. A lot of It's funny how special teams is coming into play and how kickers are kicking it short to make sure the ball comes out. What game was that they won when the guy kind of let it go?
Yeah, Caleb Johnson for the Steelers just was not aware.
Steelers, you're right. Oh my God,
that was rough. Yeah, the NFL they can't figure out the kickoff.
It's crazy.
But
all right, number 4, got the Rams. All right, okay. You got to soak it in.
I'm not against that one. I don't.
You got to soak it in.
Yeah, I don't mind the Rams one. One.
Oh, you know what? I'm missing. How am I missing this team?
I
guess, no, let's keep it because I wrote this down. Let's keep with it. 3 is Buffalo.
I think they're the best team in football right now.
I got 2 is Packers.
I think they're number 2.
1 is Birds.
I would say we're somewhere around 3, 4, 5 if I had to put it. Yeah. But I'd say the Buffalo Bills right now through 2 weeks are by far the best team in the NFL. I mean, Josh Allen, like I said, he's the most talented quarterback in football. I think Mahomes is obviously the best quarterback in football, but Allen is special. And they're unfortunately every year they deal with so many injuries, and losing Ed Oliver was tough.
Is he out?
A little finicky. He got hurt in practice. He got stepped on. So you know how that is as a D lineman. It's a lower leg. I don't know to what exactly he's getting treatment on. We'll find out more this week, whether it's ankle, or kind of a leg thing. But yeah, he gets stepped on. So by another teammate. So that's all they have on that. I would say Buffalo is probably the best team in football.
This is Ernie B's. Let's go. Unofficial.
Yeah, through 2 weeks.
2 weeks. 2 week power ratings.
Yeah,
2 week power ratings. You got Buffalo 1.
I'm gonna go Green Bay 2. I think those are the 2 best teams in the NFL right now.
Packers 2.
I'm actually gonna take Baltimore 3.
B more 3. I left Baltimore off because they're 1-1, even though it was between them and the Colts at 5. But
I'm going to take Philadelphia 4 because
Philly
I still
4.
think what they have going.
See, here's my problem though. I can't put Baltimore over Philly because
I just think right now. I mean, they've scored 40 points in 2 games.
Yeah, right,
so,
right.
No, you know what I mean? And the Bills was a really competitive game. Like they lost the game.
They should have won.
They still ran for 200 yards on. You know what I mean? Like I have to. If I'm putting the Bills where they are, I have to weigh the Ravens accordingly. So
if we talking about winning's everything, they just win the Arrowhead.
I
got to win.
Just tell you where I see the team as we stand through 2 weeks.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
And number 5, I'm going to give
Colts. Give them the Colts. Put the Colts in there.
I'm actually gonna say I'm gonna go with the Lions because I don't think the Bears are that bad, and I actually brought the Lions up as my team that I was gonna shade this season due to losing both coordinators. But
for sure,
what they did to Chicago,
I was surprised at that. I
wasn't surprised because I knew that if they were gonna win, they were gonna win in a disrespectful fashion. I know that Dan Campbell meant it in the most respectful way, but that was disrespectful. Like that was crazy.
Yeah.
I'm also playing my buddy who's a diehard Lions fan in fantasy this week, and he had all of them. And yeah, let's just say Jalen Hurts' little stat line with AJ Brown's didn't save me this week. That was
right.
It was rough, but yeah, I just think Detroit. I think the NFC outweighs the AFC this season. I think the AFC West is really feisty, but I just think teams in the East and the NFC will beat you. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not thinking about the Dolphins. I'm not thinking about the Patriots. You know what I mean? I'm not worried about the Jets. I mean, Buffalo's going to walk that. The Raiders I'm not as worried about, but I do think the Chiefs, obviously, the Chargers, obviously, the Broncos are a feisty football team. You brought up the Colts. Colts got the Texans, who are playing tonight. Good football team. They're putting up with the Bucs, who we can't seem to figure out how to do anything against. And we play them after the Rams, so in Tampa. So it's again. So let's just remember when we're talking about week 2, but oh man, Birds are the best team in football. Yeah, I want to hear your response after they play at Tampa week 4, and then you're like, oh, we fucking suck. Oh, we lost 42-7 in Tampa again. It's going to be all part of the ride this year, man. I mean, I think this one's going to be wild, but yeah, I'd go Lions. So what's that officially? That's Bills, Packers, Ravens, Birds, Lions.
Yes, and I have Birds, Packers, Buffalo, Rams, and Colts. So big switch. The only thing we agree with is the Packers are for real.
Colts could be this year's Minnesota Vikings, though.
Yeah, I have the Colts. That was a big win. That was a big win against a legit. I think they have 2 legit wins. I mean, I know it's Denver coming over a little bit.
What was the first win they had? Who did they beat week 1?
Denver was a.
It was Miami. They beat the piss out of Miami.
Yeah, and the reason why I say I have the Colts there because one of the markers of a good team is beating a bad team and beating them convincingly, and that's what they did to Miami. They beat a bad Miami team because why? They're a good team. And I was having this conversation with Brent on the back end about Daniel Jones, and he's surprised at where Daniel Jones is and where the Colts are. And I'm really not. I'm really not surprised at them because
I'm not really surprised.
Jones has a similar skill set to Hurts. That's always been the conversation. They've always said that. He just was on the Giants. And now you put him with a coordinator and a head coach who knows how to use that skill set. Let's not forget.
Yeah, I'd actually argue Jones is a little better of an intermediate passer than Hurts is too. I mean,
probably, yeah.
Jones's top speed might be faster than Hurts is too. I mean,
it might be, but all I'm saying is, the skill set is eerily similar.
Yeah,
right?
I mean,
it's super similar in their skill set.
I would agree. I think the way he's using him though is much more efficient to what Steichen wants. That's why I kind of brought up could the Colts be this year's Vikings? Could the Steichen Daniel Jones combo be what we saw with Sam Darnold and Kevin O'Connell? And I think a lot of it comes to utilizing that offensive line that they have. Jonathan Taylor, they have good weapons, and they've got a feisty defense, man. I mean, they got Lou Anarumo over there, and from the Bengals of many years, so they've got a quality defense, and I think that's really what it takes when you're an offensive head coach like Steichen. He just needs to be able to just not worry about the defense. Similar in the sense where Sirianni, just so people know, Vic Fangio runs that side of the ball. Nick Sirianni, Howie Roseman, they run the rest of everything else. But Vic Fangio has his say, that weight, or that voice carries weight in that building. So I think the Colts are built for a feisty little run. Let's hope they're not the Saints of last year through 2 weeks. But I don't think they are. I think they're much more. I think they're legit. I think the roster's for real, man.
Yeah, no, I agree. Quick update. They punted the ball and big special teams play by the Texans, 53-yard return on the punt return. They're on Tampa's 25. Looks like they're going to probably milk this clock and just see if they can get a win with a field goal here as my.
Oh, Nick Chubb down the sideline. Houston Texans touchdown. They go up 20-14.
Oh, wow. Never mind.
Yep.
That 30 Then that over has
we're at 34 once the extra point goes through.
Yeah, you're right. Nick Chubb with a 20. How about that?
Yeah, former Eagle Harrison Bryant out there with a good block.
Yeah. I saw him. They almost had a good
promoted to the active roster after he had an injury.
Yeah, I was a Bryant fan. I was a Harrison Bryant fan too, by the way.
Yeah, he had a good block. He actually had the seal block. What looks like on the outside backer. He had the seal to the right tackle that sent Chubb on the home run.
Big touchdown there. Big touchdown and put them ahead. So 2 minutes and 10
they're
seconds
going for
left.
2, so 35 potentially on the.
Well, the over was I think it was like 41 or 42. So there's a sweat coming around if the Bucks can go down the field and get a win against that defense. So we'll see. So real quick as we end the show here, any other week 2 reactions that you saw and anything you're looking at week 3, any upcoming storylines that you see kind of manifesting?
Super excited to watch Carson Wentz start at quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings. He'll be the first quarterback in NFL history to start for 6 different teams in 6 consecutive seasons. So now I'm stoked for that.
I'm stoked for that. That's so funny. Is it Cincy? They're facing Cincy too, right?
Yeah, so it's Jake Browning. Yeah, Jake
Browning.
They trade for somebody. I mean, we could potentially see Jameis Winston traded to the Bengals if the Giants are willing to play ball. So
how long is he? Is it a season injury?
Burrow's out for 3 months. So basically, he would be back for like week 12, 13, something like that.
Yeah, they're
14 around there.
They're done.
Yeah, no, they're done.
Yeah.
Unless they get Jameis. They get Jameis, then they have a little bit of hope.
Yeah.
Him with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. I mean, that's
them for 400 yards every game.
Yeah, Jameis doesn't need an offensive line. That's not what he's worried about. He just chucks that thing down the air. So.
Yeah, he does. He'll throw for 30 touchdowns, but he'll throw for 30 picks, but he'll chuck it for sure.
He's done it. I think he had 32 one year, but it is what it is.
Right. I think that, like you kind of brought it up already, I think the injuries are the major story. JJ McCarthy, I believe, also was hurt, like you just said.
Looking at 3 weeks for McCarthy. That's obviously where Wentz is playing. Now he's with the Vikings and Kevin O'Connell.
Yeah, and then we had Jaden Daniels. Sounds like a knee injury. His status is up, and Joe Burrow, as you said earlier, is suffering for turf toe. He's also out. Any other injuries that I missed that were kind of big news?
Jalen Johnson from the Bears was shut down for the rest of the year. Top outside corner, one of the best in football. He was shut down with I think he's having to get groin surgery, and that's going to put him out for the year. Yeah, it was just too much to deal with. So
that's tough.
Yeah, he's out for the year. Trying to remember if anybody else important got hurt. Not that I can remember off the top of my head. I know Eagles came out decently healthy. We'll find out more.
Soft tissue issues or
we'll see who gets a little treatment. Like Hunt's hip came up last week, which we didn't have any idea about because I don't think he missed any snaps last game. Or when he was off the field, we didn't notice it. So I mean, I think this Rams game is going to be a great test for the team.
Yeah,
the Rams, Akilo Witherspoon, one of their starting corners, I believe, is out for the year. So he's not the best, but I mean they're a little shallow at that position. So this is a chance for the aerial attack for the Eagles offense to get going. Definitely. Obviously, Saquon has had a lot of success against the Rams. But I would say, too, it's a great test for Adoree Jackson and, Makuba to see how they do against Nakuba, who's becoming one of the best receivers in football, if not the best. And Devontae Adams has just been,
Adams.
Yeah, he's just Devontae Adams. I mean, Malik Neighbors and Puka Nacua so far are on a tear. I mean, those two are on a skyrocketed projection.
And Puka scored on a 45-yard run. Like they're getting him the ball in multiple ways, and
Puka's as much as he annoys me as a football player, he's special.
Yeah. No, he is, and I think Adams had his going out party last game too. And they're just going to force feed those two. And whoever Adoree Jackson's on, pick your poison. You can't have Mitchell run with anybody because it's just going to be a mismatch on the other side. So
no, and I have a feeling that they're gonna. If I had to guess, Fangio is gonna probably try to bracket Nacua a little bit. Probably in some way, shape, or form, try to get Makuba on him with a second hand. Maybe have DeJean and Makuba work on him because he lines up so much in the slot. Right. So we could see that. That would unfortunately leave maybe Mitchell alone with Adams, which is still a tough matchup for him being a young corner, as high as we are on him as a player. I mean, that's still a tough matchup. And then you got, obviously Adoree left out there for whatever.
Yeah, and I'm about to pull up right now. I thought they were. And it's going to be a test for this offensive line, like you kind of said earlier. The Rams are second in the league in sacks with 8 sacks, led by Brian. Was it Brian Young? I think it is, or Bryant?
Byron Young.
Yeah.
Same name as our defensive lineman from Alabama.
Yeah. True. And he got some tick last game. I saw that too. So it is going to be a really interesting game. For those who are watching, make sure you tune in for our drops of the game on Thursdays for Rams versus Birds. All our best bets, our predictions, parlays, all that good stuff. And then after that, we will be right back here for another Victory Monday. Whether we lose or win, it's going to be Victory Monday podcast every Monday. So make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe, all that good stuff.
Victory Monday just to be on the podcast, man. Come on, man. What you talking about?
We'll figure a way to talk about how we won, and even when we lost. We'll figure a way because there will be a loss. I think in one of these games, I would be really shocked if they started 4-0. They start 4-0.
I'm still gonna stick with my 2-2. You
think these are the two right here coming up?
I think this is the slide that sends the team into a little bit of self-reflection.
Okay.
So we'll see what happens, but I'm getting that feeling. It's starting to brew up a little bit.
Yeah.
So we'll have to name it some Ernie B's red flags. How many can go up in the season before I start waving them?
I like that. I'm gonna write that one down. Ernie B's red flags might be something you just came up with. You know what I mean? Might be some flag on a play.
Yeah, I got to challenge that. Speaking real quick, did you see how far Sirianni threw that challenge flag?
Oh yeah. There was I don't know how real it was, but it was like some crazy little stat. Like he threw it
I saw that too. I didn't know if that was real. But it was like 35 miles. It was like 35 yards at 75 miles an hour. I was like, what?
It had 1 point. It was what he said. It hit the ground at 1.7 seconds, but gave it a 75% chance of being seen. It was something.
Yeah, dude. I was rolling with that one. That was one of my favorites.
I saw that one too.
The shit out of that thing, dude. I didn't care we lost the challenge. When I saw how hard he threw it, I was like, all right, yeah.
Yeah. I should have brought that in. That should have been an opener, right? That's funny.
We need to work that into the hey, that might be the thing though.
The red flag. Hey, the challenge. There it is. Yeah, I like it. I'll find it and make sure that we drop it. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining here for Victory Mondays for another winning week for your Super Bowl champion, Philadelphia Eagles. I'm the player that called me most money. That's Ernie B. We'll see you guys next week, hopefully for 3-0. Good night, everybody.